On this video, I want to talk about 3 spices that will lower inflammation. And it's funny because spices for centuries has been this healing tool, but yet in modern day, sometimes we forget about the healing power of spice. And often we either don't put a spice into our cooking or we look at it only from a taste profile. So I really want to bring back the conversation of food as medicine in celebration of Eat Like a Girl coming out. If you can really see your eating window as adding these foods in that heal you, food becomes medicine, and then fasting becomes a way of tapping in to your own healing capabilities. And you combine those and boom, you've got a body that you will absolutely love. So we can't leave spices out of the food as medicine conversation. And these 3 are specific for lowering inflammation. So let's dive into what these 3 are. So the first one, you probably already are like, I would think you're probably thinking this one, but I really want to talk about the use of it, how we cook with it, and why it's the hero spice. It's turmeric. Most people now know that turmeric has an anti-inflammatory effect because it's high in antioxidants. And I want to talk about what antioxidants are. So let's go back to cellular health here. We have 72 trillion some cells in our body. And when we are exposed to toxins and stress, all of a sudden those oxidants, you get this oxidative stress that occurs inside the cell. And when there's oxidative stress inside the cell, what happens is toxins stay in there and trigger genes. So they can trigger any kind of gene. They can trigger genes for autoimmunity, cancer, chronic disease. They also shut down production of ATP from the mitochondria. And this is important because the mitochondria is trying to spit out all this ATP to give you energy to function and energy to heal. And if you get a lot of toxins that create this oxidative stress within the cell, now your energy goes down. So we have possibility of genes being triggered, energy going down, and then of course other cellular parts. There's a lot of different pieces of the cell start to malfunction. And overall, the cell, because it's traumatized from these oxidative stress, becomes inflamed. And then you start getting signs of chronic inflammation. So you see how those all work together? So when we add in antioxidants, it cleans up that oxidative stress, gets the mitochondria making more ATP, you will start avoiding triggering these genes, and you start to bring inflammation down. So when we look at the cell through the lens of turmeric specifically works on arthritis, so it works on joints and it works on gut. So the research that I found that's really interesting is that, and this was actually a 2020 review, showed that turmeric, which the antioxidant component of turmeric is called curcumin, and that curcumin has an extraordinary antioxidant activity that can protect the cells from inflammation and accelerated aging. Again, specifically, we're seeing this in the gut and in the joints. So we want to make sure that we are having daily, is the way I would look at it, a daily dose of turmeric. But here's what's interesting about turmeric, and I hope some of you I know have heard this, is that you want to pair it with black pepper, because curcumin, when paired with black pepper, you see an increase, a 2,000% increase in its anti-inflammatory effect. So, that's as simple as using your turmeric spice and just when you're cooking, putting it together with black pepper. There are supplements out there that know this, but what I'm here to teach you is how to use food as medicine. So, and how to never buy a supplement again. So if you really get into the science behind spices, you realize that there's some serious power here, especially when we combine those 2 together. Okay, second spice, which is another favorite of mine, is ginger. Now, ginger, really fun, interesting recipe I have for you all is in Eat Like a Girl. I have a series of fasted snack recipes that you can actually eat or drink in your fasting window. Chef Leslie created them. She was my plant-based chef for that book. The interesting thing is that ginger, she made a really good ginger drink that is incredible that you can use in your fasting window. And a lot of you start to get nauseous within your fasting windows, primarily because fasting kills off the bad bacteria. And so what we know is when you go into longer fasts, when you go into 24-hour fasts and maybe even a 3-day water fast, if you can be drinking some ginger, you actually can help heal your gut and protect it from all the die-off of the bad bacteria. Now, the study that I saw and found showed that the antioxidants, again, now you know what an antioxidant is, the antioxidants that ginger have not only help the gut, repair the inflammation in the gut, but can help skin and brain. So remember, turmeric mixed with black pepper, the component is curcumin, is helping with joints and with IBS, like with the gut. Now we've got ginger, and it's helping with the gut, skin, and brain. So it's bringing down the inflammation in all these areas because these foods have different antioxidant loads. I used to say to my patients all the time, eat the rainbow, like look at the different colors, because like peppers, for example, when I look at peppers, I don't just, my favorite is red, but I make sure I do yellow and orange because the color tells you that there's different antioxidant properties in there. So with ginger, what's fascinating is this one, for all of you trying to lose weight, there was a study that I will link in here that they did on 473 people. And they found that people who ate ginger lost significantly more body fat compared to the control groups that didn't. Now, the next question is, well, why did that work? Because it brought down metabolic inflammation. So when we start to bring ginger back into our diet, not only are we healing our stomach and giving the gut bacteria and the inner lining of the gut some really healthy antioxidant nutrients, but every cell in your body is getting that metabolic inflammation is coming down, and it's moving you out of insulin resistance. And insulin can do its job by getting glucose into the cell. So I hope you followed that. I mean, this is why I think we have a cultural issue where we think food is like, it's not that powerful. It is that powerful. Go listen to the episode that I did with Dr. William Lee. I mean, what he did, this is in my Resetter podcast, it's here on my YouTube channel. What he did that was so fascinating, he looked at the principles of what it took to create medication for cancer. That was his original specialty. He was an oncologist, and he was helping develop medications for cancer. And once he understood those principles, he then went to food. And he's like, well, what's in food that might also have these similar principles? And he and I talked about it in relationship to hormones, but I guarantee you in his book that he probably has things like ginger in there and turmeric. We cannot do away with food as medicine. It is absolutely when it's done right. Okay, my baby's coming to you. Eat like a girl. You want to know the foods that will support hormones? Guess what? I have them for you already. It's a free giveaway. Just click the link above and I'll send you a list of all the foods that support amazing hormonal health. Okay, last part of ginger that I just want to point out is that one of the studies that I'm going to put in there is that ginger increased the thermic effect of food, meaning that when you eat ginger with let's say you put it in a stir fry, or you put it in a salad, or you put it on top of a meat, it increases your metabolism. Your body actually will raise the metabolism to be able to burn it out. So you're burning more calories. So, I mean, ginger is kind of a superfood, but it really comes at the human body from multiple angles. Now, the last food that I want to talk about is garlic. And we did a whole thing on garlic with Chef Leslie's cooking show. And talked about the properties of garlic. So you can go, I did a cooking show with her, and I'm sure we'll put a link in here for you to see that. But garlic is anti-inflammatory for the liver. Okay, so when you think garlic, I want you to think liver. Now, what's interesting about that is what I'm teaching you all here is this metabolic switch. And with Fast Like a Girl, I started teaching you about the fasting window. And now I'm really diving into the eating window. And when we are switching back and forth from eating and fasting and eating, when you're over here in the fasting window making ketones, it is the liver that is doing the most work. When you're over here in the eating window, it is the gut that is doing most of the work. So we've got ginger to bring the inflammation down in the gut, and we've got garlic to bring the inflammation down in the liver. So if you've been eating a Western diet, standard Western diet that's been packed with ultra-processed foods, if you want to start to heal those organs, bring that ginger in for the gut and garlic in for the liver. And what's interesting on some of the research that I saw is that eating garlic, this is a fun one, it's a meta-analysis, so they looked at a lot of different ones, and eating garlic reduced not only the inflammation in the liver, but they started to see the liver enzymes change on blood work. Now, those of you that have blood work and you've seen AST and ALT high, that is your liver making these liver enzymes, too much of it. The liver is under stress. Or if it's too low, it's possible that the liver has been working so hard it doesn't have the capacity to make these liver enzymes. So according to this, when we bring garlic back in, we start to see that it stabilizes liver enzyme production. Whether you're too low or too high, it helps to stabilize all of those. And it's great for reversing signs of fatty liver disease, which I've done several videos on that here for you all. Again, I'm sure my team will put some links in here. But, again, let's go back to food. In Chef Leslie in the cooking show said she just eats a clove a day and just pops it in her mouth and eats one every day. I think that's a really great idea. Like, let's not complicate this. Let's just take one of the cloves here and put it in your mouth and get that daily dose to be able to start to heal the liver. So I hope that helps. Again, I'm here trying to help you all understand this fasting lifestyle and the metabolic switch. But we're currently in a time where food has become poison. I don't know if you've heard of the term food deserts, that there's like parts here in America of big patches of parts of our country where they're not getting good food. They're not getting access to healthy food. Food's there, but it's just the quality of food has gone down so much. So we have to educate ourselves. So in Eat Like a Girl, I got lists of foods you're going to want to avoid. But then we have to look at what nature provided and how and it's just spectacular. When you think about what nature provided, it's like it provided all these amazing foods that have all these incredible properties. Why don't we give it enough credit? Like, why don't we instead we look at food as through the lens of our taste buds, why don't we give it credit? So on this video, I really wanted to bring those spices back to help you all lower your inflammation. And if you attach those three things to a fasting window, when you are fasting, you're lowering inflammation. Chronic inflammation is not hard to overcome. You just have to understand why the body is making the inflammation, what you can do to start to reverse it quickly. So again, I hope that helps. Let me know, give me feedback. Those of you that are new to my channel, let me know. Do you like this kind of stuff? You like the science? Give me feedback. And if anybody has any great stories about how turmeric and garlic or ginger healed you, please, please, please tell it in the comments, because we are a community here on YouTube. So as always, I hope that helps. I don't want you to waste money on supplements. Your body's a miracle. Buy the right ones. Sometimes you don't buy them at all. Check out this video so you don't waste money on your supplement. When we do the same probiotic over and over and over again, what we're doing is we're creating a monoculture in our gut.